Alright guys, just wanted to post a video. This is another fight request section where you guys can put all your fights here. You guys can request. And this is for section 11. Yeah, sections 5 through 10 are almost done. And you know me, I always like to, get out more, see if, because, someone might have a fight and they might forget it, and, that's why I do. I also want to finish up these lists further because I really tear through these fights really fast. So yeah, that's why we're on sections. I want to get section 11 covered. I want to get a list for section 11 covered because sections 5 through 10 are done, and we're almost on section 5. There's not a lot of fights left in section 4, and section 5 is right around the corner, and section 5 is coming up soon. So yeah, and yeah, finished 6 through 10. Other thing is that section 11 is going to be all requests. None of the fights are going to be from me. So please, if you guys have a request fight, this is the perfect place to put it, because there's going to be, I'm going to pick out 6. Not 26. Okay, there's going to be 26 fights. Now that I've got myself straight, straightened out here. There's going to be 26 fights in section 11. So yeah. Now I've already got 4 fights. Yeah, 4 fights already in section 11. First off is Ganon versus Dormammu by Tori GNR1. Nathan Drake versus Lara Croft by Jackie444. Then Dante versus Ryu Hayabusa by Miguel Seiler, and Snake Eyes versus Vicious by the Mount Vernon Kid. So yeah, 4 fights. I want to get up to 26 fights in section 11. And remember, you know me, I always like to, get everything covered rather than, fool around with it like a chicken with my head cut off when it gets around to that section of the fights. So yeah. Now, I'm really, with this section, I really want to stay away from the Marvel DC fights. I mean, I don't mind if you put Marvel and DC characters in there, and I don't mind a good Marvel DC fight, as long as it's not like something basic like Batman versus Spider-Man or something like that. So yeah, I mean, you guys can do Marvel DC fights, but do something a bit out of the ordinary if you want to do Marvel DC fights. But if you guys want to do like Marvel, like comic book, anime, something or other. But yeah, also, try to keep the power levels, intact. I don't want to be like the whole David and Goliath thing, because sometimes Goliath pounds David into the ground with some of these fights. I should know, because I've come across fights that are like really end up being one-sided. So I really don't want that. I want it like good, even matchups. So yeah, there are a lot of space to fill. You guys can put up to like sometimes I pick 2 fights from the same person in one section, so there might be a lot of that, if I see enough good fights. So yeah, I just wanted to cover that. Also, oh yeah, also, like I said, like I said before, if you guys want to do a Marvel DC fight, I just don't want to clog this entire section up with Marvel DC fights. So I want to put some. I don't mind putting some in there, but I don't want the whole section to be filled up with them like section 5 was. That is just backed up with Marvel DC fights. Out of like all of them, out of most of the fights in all my sections, section 5 is just jam-packed of Marvel DC fights. I mean, there are some that aren't, but for the most part, yeah, it's mostly Marvel DC fights. But yeah. So yeah, you guys can go ahead and put your sections in there. And remember, if you guys don't get it, when I might not pick every single fight for section 11, so you guys can put up at least, I don't know, as many fights as you can think of. But yeah, if I find fights that I can't fill up in this section, if I get it all 26, that doesn't mean I didn't like your fight. It's probably going to be in like section 12 or 13. Because there are actually a lot of fights that I like, but I have to put them in another section, because my rule is that I put the maximum I put of the same person is 2 fights, 2 fight requests. That's why sometimes you see in most of my fight sections, in my fight videos, in some of my sections, sometimes people have 2 of the same fights, but that's as far as I go with them. So yeah, so request away. And remember, it's going to be... I also want to mention that this is going to be kind of a wait. This is going to be... You're going to have to wait a while, because, like I said, this is Section 11, and we're only... we're almost on Section 5, so... Yeah. But but I will post lists when I get closer to that section. So yeah, like I said, request